Charlize Theron. There's something going on there. She's adopted 2 children. I believe they're 2 children of color. Are they 2 black kids? They're American. And one of them, she says, is trans. It's a boy who she claims is a girl. And if memory serves, there's another one who's a girl. Yes, exactly. I was right. And I think that one too has some sort of gender issue. I could be wrong about the second one. But if a right-wing person like Amy Coney Barrett, by the way, adopts a black child like from Haiti, they get denounced by these lefties as doing something inappropriate, like you're somehow depriving the child of the right cultural upbringing. But I guess if Charlize Theron, who's an avowed liberal, does it, it's fine. So she decided to go on a podcast tour for some reason, sat down with Call Her Daddy, the sex podcaster, who interviewed Kamala Harris all about how much they love abortions. And this is Charlize Theron trying to sound like super cool girl. And I'm going to let you decide for yourself whether that's what she accomplished in SOT 26.
Do you have any sex tip for the girls?
I am the last person to ask. I'm like sounding very cocky here, but I think it's because I have found this freedom in my 40s where I'm like, oh my God. So I just want to say this in perspective. I've probably had 3 one-night stands in my entire life.
Okay.
But I did just recently fuck a 26-year-old and it was really fucking amazing.
Fuck yes.
Yes. And I've never done that. And I was like, oh, this is great. Should be the ones that are like, fuck you. Like, I'm going to have an orgasm. And yet my whole life was so concerned about.
Same.
The same?
Same.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So my advice would be this. Don't fucking do that. For 2 reasons. You're going to have better orgasms. And guess what? Your man's going to like that.
Okay, I think I just found my next parody. She played me in a movie, and I can play her in one too. What's going on there? I got to tell you, Stu Burguiere, I have to tell you something. I kind of call bullshit because I believe that Charlize Theron probably prefers women. That's my belief. Okay, I'm entitled to my opinion, and there's no reason to get into the details as to why I believe it, but I believe it, and I don't think that she's telling the truth about the 26-year-old. I think this is the way, in the same way I told the audience this story about how Doug and I have a friend, a lot of our gay friends thought that this friend was gay, and we never knew whether he was gay or not, but this guy who was the suspected gay man would constantly make inappropriate, like weird comments about, my girlfriend looks amazing naked. And Doug would always be like, straight men don't talk about their girlfriends like that. That's like a gay man's idea of how a straight man would talk about his girlfriend. And I feel like this is an overcompensation where she's like, I fucked it. I'm sorry to repeat it. It's vulgar. The other girl's vulgar. And they're both really shockingly inappropriate, I think, in the clip. It was very off-putting, but my theory is it's an overcompensation. Your thoughts?
It's fascinating. It's a bizarre society that elevates that sort of conversation, I would say. Strange. And I don't know. I mean, you might have more information on this than
I definitely
do. It definitely, I will say this, Megyn, definitely.
Let me tell you something. She's not going to be suing me for defamation.
Yeah, that's great.
But by the way, opinion is not suable for defamation anyway. Go ahead.
It's just your opinion, Megyn. You made that very clear, very, very much just your opinion. But it does seem like, it's like, I guess that's supposed to make her like edgy, right? Like it's supposed to be, hey, look at me. I'll say it. I'll just say it. I like doing that. It seems pathetic. It seems like you're trying too hard. And there is an element there of like, everybody knows that person who is trying to pretend that there's something else. Maybe it's just that she's very boring and stays home on Friday nights. I don't know, Megyn, but it definitely seems like there's something she's compensating for.
Okay, could be that. I'll entertain your theory. Maybe it's just that she's boring and not something else, but okay. She's 49 years old. She's trying to sound like she's 26 years old, and it's inappropriate. It feels weird. She's one of our biggest stars. That's true. Act like it. Have some class. Like, honestly, it's a very strange thing to see one of our best known actresses sit down like that with the crossed legs with this sex podcaster talking about their orgasms and who they effed. It's just really off-putting and feels really it's a turnoff. Here she doubles down on how little she needs a man in her life. Hello, back to my theory. even when it comes to child rearing. SOT 27.
I think people look at it so like in our society as this kind of something must be wrong with her, right? With women, it's always like something must be wrong with her. She can't keep a man, and it's never part of the discussion of like, wow, she's really living her truth. Like she's living in her happiness. Like this is actually a choice that she made. I like want to just like look at them and just be like, do you know how fucking great it is to live exactly how I want to live, to experience motherhood exactly how I wanted to experience it. And my fucking God, do I love every single day of it. I love that I don't have to share them with somebody. I love that I don't have to run every fucking thing by a guy. I love that I don't have to, well, oh my God, co-parent. I fucking love that I don't have to do any of that stuff.
Okay, I just have to say something about the swearing. I love a good F-bomb. The audience knows that. It has to be strategically deployed. When one really feels it, the audience will forgive you for it. But every sentence, an F-bomb, F-ing this, F-ing that, F-ing God, F-ing, like, what is that? This is like an affectation where she's trying to act like, again, the young, cool girl. I get it. And I don't need a man. She's got 2 children. They don't need a father? Okay. She's super proud of the fact that there's no father in the picture. Great. Good for you.
It's a psychotic view of what marriage is. Marriage and parenthood is not like, oh, I got to run this by my wife if my son's going to play in this little league team. Like that's not what marriage is. That's not. Again, I don't know. How do you even talk to somebody who thinks that way? It's like it's like an alien that dropped out of out of another planet, and you're trying to explain to them basic human desires, needs, wants. There's a lot of real positives that come out of it. You'll be shocked. Maybe if she tried it, she'd enjoy it. All of human history, what we've seen is that people do. Yes, there are problems. Yes, sometimes, of course, everyone has their frustrations in a relationship. I suppose sitting by yourself all the time, left to your own devices, can be appealing for a time. But you know what? Almost everybody eventually gets mature enough to figure out that is not the optimal way to live. Eventually, people wind up trying to find something that's a little bit deeper than I get to do what I want for me all the time. And that's apparently where she is, and apparently doesn't want to leave.
So well put. There is not a gender issue with the second child. It's the first child who's a boy claiming to be a girl. And Charlize is on record as saying, I thought I adopted a boy, but he looked at me at age 3 and said, I'm a girl. And I was like, okay, you're a girl. As if a 3-year-old has any understanding truly of what gender is and can make that kind of a decision. I mean, it's just such a sad situation. I mean, for those children, for the one child in particular. I feel sad for them. I feel sad that she doesn't feel the need to bring a father figure, obviously, into their life, not a full-time one. And she's super thrilled to be not having that, and sees men as a burden and not as additive. And again, back to my theory, I think there's a reason for that. But I just think she's not who I thought she was. Not at all.
Yeah, and it's just on the front of, this is just a societal thing. We keep hearing that this is a very natural thing that boys want to be girls and girls want to be boys. And actually they really are. They're put in their quote unquote wrong bodies. Yet it's so interesting how the percentage of those people seem to coalesce around people with that type of attitude as parents. Like it's not a coincidence, right? It's not a coincidence that liberal areas have much higher percentages of children who find themselves in this situation, and of course have it encouraged and have it pushed, either on them or just, propped along the entire way. The word social contagion, the term social contagion is used often to describe this, and it's just hard to deny. Honestly, it's not a coincidence that the children that wind up in this situation tend to be around parents who believe this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was standing up for the drag queens not long ago. She doesn't want any man in her life. She allegedly has a trans child, which is not a thing. Children are not trans, and they're not born in the wrong bodies. And now she wants us to know all about her orgasms, and now she effed this person, this 26-year-old the other day. I mean, okay. Whatever. People can make their own minds up. This is not how I would like to see our biggest stars behave. I have to say, as she's on the opposite side of the aisle than we are, politically, Stu, but you never see Julia Roberts do this kind of thing. You know, she did pop up. She voiced over that ridiculous ad about how you could disobey your husband. That's getting openly political. That's fine. I mean, I don't like it, but she doesn't debase herself in order to get attention. She doesn't call the paparazzi to get photos of herself getting a Starbucks. She makes sure her children stay out of the news. I respect that. She's fine. She's on the opposite side of the aisle. She wants to, that's fine. But she doesn't debase herself for attention because she's a true star. She's a very big star, one of our biggest. Hats off to her for that. Since President Trump was sworn in, his administration has made enormous progress at a breakneck pace. But don't forget, while they are moving mountains for the good of the nation, you've got your personal savings to worry about. And one of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with gold, like from Birch Gold Group. In the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased by 40%. And Birch was an advertiser on this show 12 months ago. If you had purchased then, you'd be 40% richer today. Now's the time. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by burying in record quantities. Global instability and tension is high, and Birch Gold makes owning physical gold so easy. Easily convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or buy some to store in your home safe. Just text MK to the number 989898, and Birch Gold is going to send you a free info kit on gold. Look into it, see if it's right for you. There's no obligation, just useful information to help you make a decision. With an A+ rating, with a Better Business Bureau, and tens of thousands of happy customers, take control of your savings today. Text MK to 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.